Hi, it's Jay from Iridescent Tarot, back with some more sparkle for you. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about my January favorites. Now, I didn't do a December favorites because pretty much all of the videos that I posted in December were like 2025 favorites and like reflections on all of that kind of stuff. And so I didn't feel like a specific December favorites video was necessary, but I actually really did miss making one because it just ties up the month with a bow for me. And so I'm excited to be here and chatting with you about my recent favorites and interests and things that I've been working on in my tarot practice. I've been busier than normal lately, and so I've had less time to either film videos or edit my videos, and it's just like really slowed down the volume of videos that I'm able to like make it through. Recording and posting and everything. And I think there's also this part where I try to be very respectful of people's time watching YouTube videos, where when I'm editing, I cut out a lot of the dead time where I'm like taking time to think and taking a minute to breathe for myself. And I end up cutting a lot of that out in editing, and that takes so much time to do. And I kind of don't want to do that anymore. So what I'm going to try to do is just talk at my normal cadence, and you're just going to have to put up with more pauses. Like I take some time to recoup my thoughts and kind of like put the end of the sentence together. And so I'm going to make a concerted effort to make it so that I need to edit a little bit less. In general, I'm just like a constant allergy person too. So like I am always sniffling and sneezing. And so I cut a lot of that out as well. And so I will cut that out because I just can't tolerate listening to myself when I play it back, sniffling and sneezing. But yeah, I'm going to do a little bit less on the editing front now in an effort to be able to put out more videos, because the longer it takes me to edit, the less time that I have to like think about what things I want to do next and film and all that. So anyways, so I'm working on a couple of things right now. I started the Cantigee Oracle practice in December, and you're supposed to start that on the winter solstice if you want to follow along time-wise in the book. So I'm on card number 5 by now. So we've done 5 weeks of this. And I can't say that, to borrow from Julie Peekaboo Rose, this is not blowing my hair back. It's just like, it's a nice practice and everything, and I've enjoyed reading it. Like the entries are written beautifully, but and the artwork is beautiful as well, but it's not giving me anything really tangible to go forth with into my life and do anything different. And there are things here that are listed to practice, like when you wake up, think anything could happen today. I glazed through it and I'm like, okay, that's nice. But like, I haven't actually put anything into practice from reading this. It hasn't been impactful enough on me. So I think I might DNF this. Yeah, it's like still early in the year, but what I think I've done 5, this weekend is going to be 6. I don't have the va-va-voom factor to want to keep doing this. So I think that I'm going to actually, I just decided right now I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm getting better and better about DNFing things, and this just isn't doing it for me. I'll tell you what is doing it for me though. This freaking Tarot des Ozarks, man. Oh my gosh. This deck, I have not put this down since it arrived. This is the coolest Tarot de Marseille inspired deck that I've seen. And I've just been doing a lot of research into the different decks that are out there. There's nothing else like this out there. It's so, so good. It's vibrant and fresh. It's got a little bit of character and life. It says a lot in a little. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I can read really deeply into the images even though I don't have the greatest depths of Marseille knowledge yet, these just really speak to me. And it's just a deck that's speaking my language. While I still have an interest in obtaining a couple other Marseille decks, while I'm not saying that I'm going to do this, I think that I could just have this as my Marseille deck and be happy. I don't want to do that at this point in time. I am still really enjoying exploring my connection with Pipspeak Tarot, and, you know, there's a couple other things that I have percolating in the background. But for down the road, I could see this being like my deck. In the same way that Playful Heart Tarot and Majestic Earth are like they're not RWS, but like those are my decks. This is like my Marseille. I feel like it just hits something deep within my soul that I feel super connected with it. And when I'm not reading with it, I'm just like flipping through the images, looking at them, shuffling it, carrying it around the house. Like, I love this deck. I love it, love it, love it. The Marseille study has been going really well. I've enjoyed reading this Ben Dove book so far. We're slowly working our way through. Everything's going well with the Marseille study. I really have been enjoying learning that new method of reading. The other deck that I have not put down this month is the Yukika Tarot. So I thought I was going to like this deck. I love this deck. There is just something about it, man. Specifically the cards that have this beautiful coloring. The artwork is so evocative and tells a story. Every single card tells a story. This is my favorite card of all time. Like, of any tarot ever, I think this might be my favorite card. Yeah, I think that this deck does something different than a lot of my other decks because it's probably one of the most people-y-ish decks that I enjoy using. Like, there's actual faces, and some of them, you know, you're like, oh, like maybe I might be able to recognize you a little bit, but this is a special deck. And I feel like if this deck was put out in rose petal in thinner cardstock, this would be top 5 decks for me of all time. It's just, I don't know. I'm trying to put it into words. I think specifically the fact that all of the images really have a full story behind them. And I'm not saying that the guidebook is telling you the full story. It's just that you can create such a full story about each card in your mind. And I really enjoy that. I love this card too, the 6 of Swords. Highly recommend watching Afton with a Zed's walkthrough where she compares this deck to the Sasarai Bito. At first, I was thinking that these two decks were pretty similar, but like after watching her walkthrough, I'm like, no, absolutely not. There's such huge differences, and this is the deck for me. I am very happy that I backed this Kickstarter and that I have this deck. I've been using it a lot. And if she ever came out with a rose petal edition, I would be first in line to upgrade the cardstock. Speaking of, I ended up repurchasing The Long Way Home. I had this deck and I rehomed it because I felt like there was something about the matte cardstock that just wasn't, like, I knew it had more potential than what I was what I was experiencing, and I was so right. I repurchased it in the rose petal, and I feel like the whatever je ne sais quoi it was missing, it has been reinstated by the rose petal cardstock. And this is like a big lesson that I've learned within the last year or so. If the creator offers multiple cardstock options and they say, but this one is my favorite, just go. This is a note to myself. Just go with whatever the creator said, because they understand the vision. They know their deck best. And if they're saying it's going to shine on rose petal, then let the rose petal ride, man. So I had followed that instinct to listened to the creator when it came to these blue bones and buying it in the Eco Herbage cardstock, and I was so happy that I did that. And now I'm really happy that I have this deck in rose petal finish. I feel like it just gives it that little extra je ne sais quoi that I didn't I didn't have with the matte version, and now I really am loving this deck. I meant to say, with the Yukika Tarot, there's been a couple of decks that I have been pairing with it most often. One of them is, this is the Uncertain Oracle. This is an oracle for uncertain times, and the two of these have been singing together. The Yukika, just like the color match with this deck, and I really like the round versus rectangle combo of these two. There's just a lot that you can read into with the color play and the different imagery that you can compare between the two. So these two have been paired up very often this month, and similarly the pocket archetypes have been as well. I don't know, something about a round deck with this watercolor art has just been hitting right. I've loved these together as well. So a lot of times what I've been doing is, Kim from the Somatic Sorceress has a video where she shows her daily practice. I will link it in the description box, but basically what she'll do is she'll pull a pocket archetype. So she'll make it, you know, shuffle, pull a card, and I'm abridging her explanation. Watch her whole video if you want to know more, but like, she'll pick a pocket archetype, and that'll be the topic or the theme of the reading, her daily reading. And then she'll pull a challenge and an opportunity. So those are the two that she pulls for tarot on the side. So this is the theme, the topic, the creator, and then the challenge would be suspension. So how do I get comfortable with waiting in the unknown when I'm creating something? What is the best way that I can feel into this suspension period of, it's not fully developed yet, it's partially on its way there. Like, how can I get comfortable? That's my challenge. And then my opportunity is the Page of Wands. So like, even if things aren't moving at a quick pace, moving all the way towards where I want to be going, where my ultimate destination is, I can still have like this fiery passion about the project, and it doesn't have to extinguish itself because we are in a period of suspension. And then she'll pull a fourth card as the kind of like action of how to do that. And what she had been using is the Circle of Doors tarot, and so she used that as like a, what's the door to walk through. She did another example where she like used the theme of the deck as the way that she'd action this, but for me, I'm just going to use my Tarot Monet Ami and say, what can I do? What's a true action step I can take to work on what we just said in this reading? The Magician. So realizing that, you know, it's what you make of it. However you feel or think about the situation is how it's going to be. So if it's feeling like it's stalled out and it's extinguishing your fire, like that's what you're going to manifest. And if it's feeling like, okay, like I can be in this period of suspension and accept that, while still maintaining that like forward moving ambition of whatever project it is that I'm creating, then I can live in that world and create that world. And it doesn't have to be like, whatever it is, whatever I make of it is what it will be. Does that make sense? Okay. Anyways, I was really glad that Kim shared her daily spread because I've just been using it with different combos of decks, but one of my favorite combos has been with pocket archetypes, Yukika, and then whatever door that I've been using to step forward through. And quite often that's been this deck that I made. So if you haven't seen my full walkthrough, this is Tarot Monet Ami. This was my big excitement of this year so far. I created a curated art impressionist tarot deck, and this is my prototype copy. It's been super exciting to get to work with it in person and see how all the images play together. And I've just been really, really enjoying using it so far. There are a couple of things that I know that I want to edit for a final version, potentially to sell. So if you're interested in this deck and you think that it's something that you might potentially want to buy, then send me an email and let me know. I'm trying to take a tally of about how many decks I might need to order if I did do a bulk purchase. So my email is in the description box as well. And I would be thrilled to know if you enjoy this deck as well. Another thing that I've been doing is the Back to Our Roots challenge from Kate at Moonflower Moments. I have filmed a video chatting a little bit about my experience with it so far, but I don't know if it'll be posted yet. So I'll just share a little bit right now about how I'm feeling. The Back to Our Roots challenge is a way to reconnect with some of the decks that we got when we first started our tarot journeys. And so the Starchild Tarot is a deck that is the whole reason that I am even in the tarot world right now. Like, yes, I might have had an interest in tarot when I was in grade school and had a deck then, but I didn't really truly learn tarot until I bought this deck around 2015, 2016. And even though I used it a ton back then, it's kind of sat on my shelf a little bit as a relic of the past, more of a sentimental item now than an actual reader. And so I was excited to pull it back into rotation to see what my thoughts are now all these years later. And if you want to hear more about that, then please do take a gander over to the video that I filmed that I chat about that more. But I was really glad to participate in her hashtag this month. It was just insightful, and I'm glad to have done it. The last deck that I have used the most this month is the Naturescapes Tarot. And I did end up edging this on my own. I've been looking for not a replacement of Majestic Earth, but I wanted an adjunct to Majestic Earth that I could bring around with me that I wasn't as precious about. Now, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know that I don't baby my Majestic Earth copy. Like, I shuffle it, I riffle shuffle it, I use it like any other normal tarot deck, but it still isn't a deck that I would like bring out of the house, right? It's like, it's a house cat, it's a house deck. And I really craved this same expansive earth energy, but that I could bring outside of the house and feel like I wouldn't be heartbroken if, not that I want something to happen to this deck, but like I wouldn't be heartbroken if a card got a little ding on it, or, you know, if you're shuffling it rough out in the wild and just like letting it live its life out in nature. This is an outdoor deck. Yeah, I don't think that the creator of this deck, I think her handle was Queen of Wands. She doesn't seem to be active in the tarot world anymore. Her blog has kind of it's not been updated. And I had messaged her and asked to ask a question about this deck, and she didn't respond. So I don't know what the status is or how long that this deck's going to be available, but I'm not going to treat it preciously. I'm going to use it and I'm going to let it live its full life. And so far, I feel like it does give that same expansive, majestic earth energy without being a super expensive out of print deck. This is still pricey, like you're still paying MPC prices. But it's nothing like what you would have to pay nowadays in order to get Majestic Earth. So in my humble opinion, this is like I would be happy to recommend this to somebody who wants Majestic Earth, but just can't swing, you know, the out of print prices. It still has those intelligent art choices. So rather than it being painted art, it is photography. So it's still a curated art deck. It's just with photography instead of paintings. And you can really see the intentionality behind the art choices that were picked for each card. And I am surprised that I didn't try to get this deck sooner, given my love for Majestic Earth. But every deck comes within its own time, and this is just one that I feel like is my kicking around, rugged, Majestic Earth that I can throw in my purse and not worry about it getting beat up or whatever. Like, this is my down-to-earth version of it. Very happy to have it here in my collection. I'm just going to flip through this while I chat a little bit about a couple other things. So I had talked a little bit about TV shows in my last few favorites and wrap-ups, and how like my husband and I were just watching Succession because there was nothing else we could find, and then we ended up watching it long enough that we liked it. But by end of season 4, we were like so glad that it was ending. Like, it was the same story on repeat. Like, how many times can you watch the same things go down in each season? So that's over and done with. I'm glad we watched it, but I'm also glad that it's over, and we don't have any real shows that we're watching right now. We're trying Barry, but I'm not really sure that that's a hit. So hopefully this doesn't turn into Succession Part 2. And then for books, I read Bird by Bird. I might have mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but Dawn Michelle posted this beautiful homage to that book. I will link that in my description as well. And because of her video, I got the audiobook version of Bird by Bird. And it was just such a lovely, real, down-to-earth book that both talked about writing like as if you're writing a book, which I'm not, but it was still applicable to other creative projects. Like, I was reading it while I was wrapping up some of the work on Tarot, Monet, and Me. So it was still applicable, and also it was just like great life lessons. And the author just has a wonderful sense of humor. And so I found myself like laughing out loud at a few of the things that she had said throughout the book. And anytime you can get me to laugh out loud during a book, I'm like, oh, this is good. And after that, I read Tarot for Change by Jessica Dorr. Oh my gosh, this book is exactly the way that I read tarot. It is very, very heavily emphasizing the psychological aspect of reading tarot, and the card descriptions, they are some of the most, like, they resonate with my soul. And it's another thing that I'm like surprised that I haven't read or gotten into sooner, because it's just the absolute perfect embodiment of the way that I want to be reading tarot and the way that I do read tarot. And so I highly recommend that book as well. And I'm very glad that I got to finally read that. It's so good. Both of those books, Bird by Bird and Tarot for Change, were so good on audiobook that I kind of want to buy them in physical copy to have them on paper as well, which is not something that I've historically done. Like, usually just reading the audiobook is enough for me, but both of them are so fantastic that I feel like I really want them on paper. So that might be something I do this month. I'm not sure. And yeah, so those were some of my favorites this month. Things that I've been doing, like the Marseille study has taken up a lot of my free time. Yeah, I've spent a lot of my tarot time working with Marseille, but when I'm not in the Marseille world working with Tarot de Ozarks, I've been Yukika-ing it up, and enjoying Tarot, Monet, and Me, and doing a little bit with that back to our roots challenge. It's just been a very hearty, enjoyable tarot month, but busy nonetheless. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and I will talk to you later. Signing out.